Hello, how old are you?
60.
All right. Why should I vote for the loser?
Uh, well, I don't think you should vote for Kamala. I think you should vote for Trump.
I'm sorry. What has Kamala lost specifically?
Uh, she's First of all, I just want to make a comment on this Waltz thing. Just because you don't go to court, he pled guilty,
That's not the
so
that's
it's
not the
just the same
contention.
thing.
That's not the contention. The contention is, did he try to win a court case and lose it? Did he? Yes or no?
No, he just lost it
No.
by
Okay, great. So he
pleading
didn't
guilty.
try. So he didn't attempt to prove his innocence and then lose in court. He just admitted that he was guilty. He never claimed he wasn't guilty. He never claimed that he didn't do that. How is that a loss? He didn't claim that he was innocent. So what was there
Because
to lose?
well, Trump could have done the same thing.
Except Trump didn't. Except Trump claimed he was innocent and then was proven guilty because he lied.
Right, but
Walls
it
didn't
still
attempt to
went
prove.
down as the same
Walls
thing.
didn't. No, you don't understand the context of the conversation. When I say Trump is a loser for losing in criminal court, I mean that Trump attempted to prove his innocence. He claimed he was innocent. He fought in court and he lost. The reason you can say Tim Walz is guilty 100%, but he didn't attempt to win in criminal court. He just admitted that he was wrong. He didn't take it to criminal court. He didn't attempt to win. There was no attempt of winning here. So why would I call Walz a winner or a loser when he didn't attempt to fight anything?
Because he was still convicted. So there's no difference.
I know that you guys.
Trump
I know
is a
that you
winner
guys.
for
I know
attempting
that.
to.
I know that you guys
Yeah.
like to. I know that Matt like when. I know that you guys like to like not use critical thinking in like any way, shape, or form. I know you don't like to use it. I know that it doesn't exist as a form of thought process in your head. But what I'm saying to you, is when Walls was brought in front of a judge, he did not fight it. He said, "I did this." He did not fight it, so there's nothing to lose. Trump fought it and lost.
Okay, so Trump could have
lost.
said guilty.
Therefore, Trump a loser. Trump lost in criminal court. He lost in civil court. He lost every time. He lost every time he tried to bring a court case to about election fraud. He lost every time he tried to do that because they threw him out without standing. Trump has done nothing but lose. His businesses went bankrupt. That's a loss. Like he does nothing but lose. So to paint him as anything but a loser is nonsensical because all he does is lose, 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 no matter what his fucking, no matter what he's up against. The only time he didn't lose is when he was up against Hillary Clinton.
He's won. I mean, he's had, indictment after indictment. He's had impeachment after impeachment, but yet he survived all.
He lost both of those impeachments.
No, he's still in office. He wasn't.
Hold on. He wasn't indicted off of those impeachments, but he was still impeached.
No, I know that.
An impeachment isn't an indictment. He was still impeached twice. He just wasn't indicted. So he did lose 2 impeachments.
But he was not removed from office. He was not found guilty.
Tons of people are impeached and not removed from office. Bill Clinton was impeached but not removed from office. Right? It doesn't shock me that at the
Bill
time
Clinton
Trump
resigned from office. Bill Clinton resigned from office because he lied under oath to Congress.
So Bill Clinton served 2 full terms.
Right.
What are you talking about? He resigned. He served 2 of his full terms. You told me you were 60. I would expect you to know this. You were alive at this point. Bill Clinton didn't resign. He served both of his full terms. Nixon resigned when he was impeached. Clinton did not.
Yeah, I know that.
So again, you can be impeached and not removed from office. His impeachment still stands. Bill Clinton was still impeached, but he was not removed from office.
Right.
So his impeachment still stands. So when I call Trump a loser, it's because Trump lost at a bunch of things.
Okay, that's fine. Whatever. Okay. So then how can you argue the fact that the standard of living in our cities have gone under under destruction in the last 3.5 years with the illegal migrant crossing.
Because I'm going to disagree that the standard of living was lowered because of undocumented immigrants. You would have to show some
Oh,
sort
really?
of
Have you
evidence
been
about this.
to California lately? San Francisco, Oakland, where your dear
Have I been somewhere is not
Colorado?
evidence that this has happened, right? Have you been is not. Have you been like what? That doesn't tell me anything. Provide me actual evidence that it's undocumented migrants' fault for issues in states. You have to provide evidence for that. You can't just say, "Have you been somewhere?"
Well, all I know is that we were better under Trump than we were 3.5 years at this
Yeah.
point
What
under
did
this
Trump? What
administration.
policies did Trump put through that saw us to be living in like a better economic system? What specific policies did he pass that did this?
Well, we're still under his tax plan, so that's good.
You just said the
Um,
economy was bad.
right. And that's not necessarily just because of his tax plan.
Wait, quick question,
It's
quick
not,
question, quick question. Did people have more, did people receive more or less in refunds in the last tax year? Did like your standard middle class person get a higher or lower deductible in the last tax year?
the same.
It was not the same.
It was no different.
It was not no different.
The tax plan has not changed because we're still under Trump's tax plan.
I know Trump's tax plan called for an increase in middle and lower class taxes. That's
No,
what
it didn't.
it was written into the
It
plan.
raised the standard deduction. It raised the standard deduction.
Yes, for the first year, and then
last year
out.
it did.
Because last year more people saw a net negative in their refunds than they saw a net positive.
Mine was the same. So because I was able to claim the same standard deduction.
Do you recognize that saying mine was the same is not evidence of the tax code being the same?
The tax code has not changed, and it won't change until this next year.
Wait,
so
again,
how can you
it's
argue?
written into his tax code that there are increases.
No, that's not true.
Yes, it is.
And he says when he's elected, he will renew his tax plan just because it expires next year.
Which will just continue to fuck with the middle class.
Well, it keeps it low for the middle class, lower for the upper income, but that trickles down anyway to the middle class. So I'm not too concerned about that.
So just again, on average, more people owed money in 2023. More people owed money while under Trump's tax plan. Do you know why? Because trickle-down economics is a myth. It was debunked when Reagan was in office. It's still debunked now. You're not going to find an economist in the world that goes, trickle-down economics is a good thing. Giving money to the wealthy does not trickle that money back down to the poor. What actually infuses our economy with money is giving money to the poor.
Oh, well, I don't know about that. But all I know is that the standard deduction has not changed from last year to this year. Are you telling me it changed? Standard deduction.
I'm telling you that Trump wrote into his tax policy that the wealthy were going to continue to receive tax cuts while the middle and poor class were not.
Right, upon expiration. But it has not expired yet.
No, each year of his plan.
It has not changed.
Have you read the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act?
The 2017?
The full bill, yeah, the full bill that we are still under with the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act.
No, well, all I know is that my standard deduction has not changed in the last 5 years. So
okay, do you know what survivorship bias is?
Survivorship bias?
Yes.
No. Elaborate on that.
Okay. If I'm in a spaceship and I'm flying with a bunch of other spaceships and we're getting shot at, and every spaceship gets shot at besides me, and I go, well, I guess nobody was shooting at us. This would kind of be wrong, right? Just because you are doing okay And because you might have survived whatever X is going on, doesn't mean that that's the case. You are just looking at it from your particular narrow point of view of the world. I won't say narrow, but your limited point of view of the world, and not looking at the actual larger numbers of what is going on.
Well, I don't think that's biased because I know that his tax plan won't expire until next year. And when he's reelected, he will renew that tax plan. So I'm fine with that. I think the distraction has been all the illegals that have been let over into this country. And you can't argue with that. So simple as that.
Wait, except there is no correlation to undocumented immigrants and like what's the word I'm looking for, to undocumented immigrants and like a stagnant and failing economy. There's literally no evidence of this. Just saying it over and over doesn't create
there is evidence of it. The cost of each migrant that we have to pay.
Migrants pay taxes. Undocumented immigrants pay taxes.
Very few do because they live off the subsidies of the government that the government are giving them.
Not very few do at all. The majority of them do.
Well, I live in Texas. I see what happens. You see why Greg Abbott has put razor wire in the middle of the Rio Grande. You know,
I'm sorry, but again, I live in Texas. ICX isn't saying anything. Undocumented immigrants pay almost $100 billion in federal income tax, and then they pay almost $60 billion in local taxes each year. This is each year that they do this. Right?
Really? Then I wonder how come we're housing them and having them get EBT cards.
First of all, we're not housing, first and foremost, we're not housing undocumented immigrants, but we do house asylum seekers who are legally in the country. They are here legally. They're not undocumented. They are documented. That's why we know who they are and can give them, can help them with housing and stuff. Because they're documented.
Because they're asylum seekers, supposedly.
Not supposedly, they are. In order to even enter the country as an asylum seeker, you have to go through a vetting process first.
Right, but it's their word against ours until the court date.
No, it's their word against what we know about the region they live in.
Okay, well then you explain to me how come we've had a 15 million increase in migration in the last 3.5 years.
Because the U.S. has been really good about destabilizing a lot of other places in the world, so those people need somewhere to go, so they come here. So because we continue to destabilize areas of the world, they come here. Because we're not destabilized. But also, there's not been a 15 million increase in asylum seekers. That's just not true.
Well, all I can say is that, I feel that this current administration is just not cutting it, and we're better off under Trump. So I'm just going to leave it at that.
Based on what?
Based on just my friends, my personal opinion, everybody I know.
Okay, well, can I tell you what I base my decisions off of? I base them off of like statistical evidence, facts, what like actually is happening in the world. I don't base it off of like me and my friends are doing okay, right? Like I don't do that. And by the way, just to give some correct numbers, in 2023 we only allowed 60,000 asylum seekers into the country. So I don't know where you got 15 million from 60,000. Don't know where that number came from.
Most people say 20 million. Did you not watch
They lie. Under Biden's presidency, for undocumented immigrants, we've only allowed 2.6 million in, estimated every year, and refugees has been about 60,000 in 2023, 25,000 in 2022, and 17,000 in 2021. So where people get this 20 million number, it's a lie. It is the most blatant lie of all time.
All the gotaways, so.
All the what?
All the gotaways.
The 2.6 million counts the amount of undocumented people that enter the country. It doesn't, you know what it actually doesn't account for? The returns. It doesn't count for the amount of people that we send back every year.
Okay. Well, anyway, like I said, I think we'll do better under Trump than we have for the 3.5 years.
But with what? Really with what policy? Trump doesn't have any policy. What policy do you think is going to make it magically better that he's proposed?
His economic policy about drilling and deportation. So
first of all, we drill more now than we ever have in history. Biden put through more oil and drilling leases in his first 2 years of presidency than Trump did his entire term. So if your issue is with drilling, why wouldn't you go for the administration that upped our drilling?
Well, I'm just getting tired of all the socialism tactics that Kamala wants to do, like the $25,000 down payment assistance for homes. You know,
sorry, we already have down payment assistance all over the place. She's just expanding upon it. We already have down payment assistance. We have literal FHA loans. Second, I don't think you know what socialism is, because Kamala Harris couldn't be any further from a socialist if she tried.
Yeah, well, that's a matter of opinion. Once again,
no, it's not. Socialism is a very specific thing. She has not proposed any socialist policies whatsoever.
Hello, what do you call universal health care? That's a socialism.
I don't call that
policy.
Socialism. No, I would call that universal health care. Yes, it is. What is socialism, friend? Can you tell me what socialism is?
Socialism is when all the people are basically equal and they put money into a pot and everybody pulls from that same pot of money.
No. Yes. Socialism is when the workers seize the means of production. Under Kamala Harris, there is no instance of the workers seizing the means of production.
It's just like the Affordable Care Act, you know, like I'm having to pay for other people's health care or subsidized health care.
I'm sorry, you disagree with the ACA?
Yeah,
you want to go back to a time, when insurances could deny people for pre-existing conditions?
I think there should be a better way. First of all, I work in healthcare, and ACA is really horrible health insurance.
I work
for the most part.
So the ACA is not just insurance. The ACA was also a list of policy and laws that changed the way insurance could engage, like privatized insurance could engage with customers. So the ACA not only made it so that people until they're the age 26 can stay on their parents' health insurance, which is a good thing because so many young people are uninsured or underinsured. It also made it so that insurances could not deny you for pre-existing conditions. It also it created COBRA, which is, might be expensive, but it is still a good thing.
COBRA has always been there. Before ACA, COBRA was there before ACA. So don't tell me that ACA had anything to do with COBRA. COBRA's been around for 25 years.
So my apologies. The ACA did not create COBRA. It made it mandatory. My apologies. It made it so that there could be no grandfathered in insurances that could ignore COBRA policies. So my mistake.
Okay. So no, I think with people with pre-existing conditions should be covered, and I think that should apply for private healthcare also, that they should be mandatory.
So hold on. Answer me this question. You're not a fan of Obamacare, but what is Trump's plan to replace it? Because I'm pretty sure he's only said he has concepts of one. He promised us that we would have a replacement for Obamacare in his first year in office. He promised us this back in 2015. So it's been almost 10 years and he's yet to put a plan in place to replace Obamacare.
Right. Well, that is something that the Republicans have not been very good at. I will agree with you on that.
So then why would I vote in the guy that doesn't have a plan?
Well, because you have the existing Obamacare, but there's a lot of people that don't think we should be providing health insurance. That it should be something that some people should buy on their own, and we shouldn't be subsidizing it. You know,
why should poor people be punished for not being able to afford healthcare?
It's not a punishment. It's just like a poor person shouldn't go out and buy a brand new Rolls Royce. Let's put it that way. Okay. So what's the difference?
Well, so the difference is a Rolls Royce isn't going to keep me alive. Healthcare will keep me alive, but I guess fuck the poor, right?
No, there's Medicaid that they can use. There's all sorts of government programs for people that actually need it. You know what I mean? So
first and foremost, those programs have a cap. They have an income cap, and oftentimes when you hit that income cap, you still are not making enough to either A, qualify for full-time insurance from a job, because jobs only give you insurance if you're full-time, or B, cover insurance for yourself because you've hit the income cap. So what do all these people do? 40 million Americans are underinsured, 30 million Americans are uninsured. What do these people do when they cannot afford health care?
So why are 30 million people uninsured?
Because they cannot afford health care.
They can't afford Obamacare. They do not
qualify for government-funded insurance. You have to meet specific qualifications for this. So what do? What do we do when every other developed nation in the world, or I won't say developed, when every other nation, insurance. Hold on, real quick, when they can't afford private insurance?
Then they need to go to school and get a better job, I guess, is the answer.
How do they pay for school if they can't even pay for insurance?
Well, they can get Pell Grants, they can get student loans, they can do a lot of things.
Do you think there's enough of that to go around for every single person? So now they don't have money for insurance. So now they have to pay, $20,000 a year to get money to go to college to get a better job. But the entire time that they're not working and they're at school, what do they do if they get hurt?
Well, they have a big medical bill, but that can be paid off in installments.
A big medical bill, which can destroy somebody's ability to live. Medical debt is one of the number one causes of bankruptcy and in the U.S. It's one of the number one causes of people losing their homes, of people losing their livelihood because of medical debt. You just don't care about poor people, friend. You don't give a crap about them. Every other country that is on the same economic standard as us has universal health care. And it works in all of these other countries. Why do we not?
It does not work. It's proven not to work. No, I've been to Europe several times. I've talked to friends in Europe, and they said it does not work. They have to wait. Oh my God, you've 2 months to friends
again. Why is it all you've talked to friends? We have to wait way longer than that for services. I couldn't even get a primary care doctor for 6 months until an availability was open. 6 months just to have an initial, I have insurance. So I had to wait 6 months just to meet with a primary care doctor to get a primary care doctor. We also, this myth about these like long wait times is nonsense. It's a myth. Especially for emergency services. They just go in and get them. So I don't care what your friends say they see. When we look at the actual numbers and data on this thing, it is not the case. Just straight up isn't. We can very easily implement a universal healthcare system where we have Medicare for everybody. We can keep your if you want to keep paying for your shitty ineffective private insurance, go ahead. It doesn't work. Most of it is administrative bloat that you're paying for. I think it's like 40% of all healthcare costs with private insurance is administrative bloat, right? Who will continue to overcharge because that's what they do. They get hospitals to overcharge for procedures when instead we can nationalize this thing and more streamline it so that people who are poor aren't suffering. Because you want to keep paying Blue Cross Blue Shield exorbitant amounts of money a month.
Well, I've retired from a major hospital system, and I have zero deductibles, $100 deductibles on major procedures such as surgeries, anything like that. No deductibles on prescription drugs, doctor visits, etc. So I think my health insurance is fine.
So your health insurance is getting paid by other people, but other people can't get health insurance.
That I put 20 plus years in as a work for a company or a hospital system. Yeah. So that's different.
You recognize no. How in private insurance is paid for by other people. Your meager amount that you pay a month out of your paycheck doesn't pay for all of your benefits. What happens is everyone
check?
Both. What happens is everyone collectively pays into a pot that the private insurance then uses to pay the hospitals. We already exist in a way that does this. Why not just make it so we all collectively pay into the same pot?
Because people that want to have universal health insurance are not employed, and they're not working for that entity. So
they're unemployed
just
people don't still pay taxes? They still pay taxes.
Well, she wants to take away private insurance. So that's another thing I don't like about her.
Private insurance is bad. It does not work.
It works for me. That's all I can say.
You know what? Can I ask you a question? Are you religious at all?
Yeah.
Are you a Christian by chance?
I would say so, yes.
Can I read you my favorite Jesus Christ quote?
Go ahead.
Here's my favorite quote by Jesus Christ. Fuck the lepers, my skin's not falling off. That's my favorite quote by Jesus Christ.
Oh, and Jesus Christ said that, huh?
Yeah, he said, fuck the lepers, my skin is just fine. It's my favorite quote.
That's pretty sacrilegious, I think, for you to say that.
I think it's pretty sacrilegious to say you're a Christian and support Jesus Christ, or say you're a Christian who follows Jesus Christ, but ignore the primary bulk of his teachings, which was give me your sick, give me your starving, give me your poor, give me your destitute, and give me your outside neighbor, let them live amongst me as if they were my own. I think to ignore the core teachings of Jesus Christ, but then call yourself a Christian and go, well, I don't actually want migrants in my country, even though that was one of Jesus's biggest fucking things. I don't want to help the poor and the sick, even though that was one of Jesus Christ's biggest things. I think the person that Jesus is going to have a bigger issue with at the pearly gates is not the person who doesn't actually think he's up there, but the person that says he believes in him, but ignores all of his teachings. That's what I actually think is going to be the worst part.
Like I said, I've been in healthcare for 30 years. I've helped thousands of people with my work. So I don't need a lecture about who's helping who.
I think you
anyway, the vast majority of people would say, if you're a Christian, you should vote for Trump. And that's the way it is. So
yes, I'm gonna vote for the guy that cheated on his wife with a porn star. Yeah, that's the Christian way to do. Got it, bud. I'm gonna vote for the guy that was found criminally liable for rape in criminal court. That's the guy Jesus wants in charge, 100%. Remind me when I see Jesus at the pearly gates to be like, but you don't understand, Mr. H. Christ. I assume he'll let me call him Jesus. We're on a first name basis.
I think you need to look at like the 10 Commandments. Thou shalt not kill. I don't think I have to expand on that.
I think we should look at the 10 Commandments when it says thou shalt not commit adultery. The fuck? Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
That's
Trump,
true.
Thou shalt not kill, but Trump did a whole lot of. Oh, and he's gone. Come on now. Please. Anyway,